Across the strait, there is a different sort of buzz in India, the buzz of diplomacy. First to arrive were the Western diplomats. They came to lobby for India's support in Ukraine. In simple words, they failed. Because the West brought its favorite cocktail, equal parts of threats and lectures. This disaster set the stage for India's second guest, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. He arrived in New Delhi on Thursday, and today he got down to business. Lavrov's first meeting was with his Indian counterpart, External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar. They had a lot to talk about: Afghanistan, Iran, the Indo-Pacific, but needless to say, the big focus was Ukraine. Lavrov's second meeting was with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Apparently, he was carrying a personal message from Vladimir Putin. Now, this meeting has a special significance. In the last 2 weeks, 5 foreign ministers have visited New Delhi from Austria, Greece, China, Britain and Russia. 5. Only the Russian foreign minister got an audience with Prime Minister Modi, and that tells you how much New Delhi has invested in its relationship with Moscow. The Russian foreign minister had twin missions in Delhi, one to say thank you. Unlike the West, India is not dealing in rhetoric. It is looking for a solution, and Lavrov appreciated this position by New Delhi.
Indeed, as you mentioned, this day our Western colleagues would like to reduce any meaningful international issue to the crisis in Ukraine. You know our position. We do not hide anything, and we appreciate that India is taking this situation in the entirety of facts, not just in a one-sided way.
Mission number 2 is trickier, convincing India to do more business with Russia. And on this, Lavrov was categorical. Anything India wants to buy, Russia is ready to sell. Listen in.
I mentioned about oil supplies and supplies of high technology. If India wants to buy anything from us, we are ready to discuss and to reach mutually acceptable forms of cooperation.
You see, Russia is desperate. They badly need a new market for their energy, and they're hoping India will step up. Now, just to be clear, India has not taken up any of these offers. Rupee-rouble, oil discounts, all of them are under consideration. They've not signed on the dotted line. But then came Dalip Singh. He is America's Deputy National Security Advisor. Slick hair, broad smile, and zero understanding of foreign policy. Dalip Singh thought the best way to sway India was using threats. Let me read out what he said. The more leverage that China gains over Russia, the less favorable that is for India. I don't think anyone would believe that if China once again breached the line of actual control, that Russia would come running to India's defense. Well, here's a question for Mr. Diplomacy, Dalip Singh. Did America come running to India's defense? The answer is no. India fought alone for her territorial integrity, just like Ukraine is fighting right now. In both cases, America just gave moral support and nothing more. By the way, Dalip Singh did not stop there. He had another warning for India, this time on buying Russian oil. Let me read out what he said. What we would not like to see is a rapid acceleration of India's imports from Russia as it relates to energy or any other exports that are currently being prohibited by the US or by other aspects of the international sanctions regime. Now, 2 possibilities here. 1, Dalip Singh is out of his depth. He's talking about things that are way over his pay grade. Or 2, America is changing its strategy. Perhaps India's neutrality is making them impatient. Either way, this is not going to help the Western campaign. India's neutrality is based on national interest, on independent thinking. Threats and lectures will not make things better. They will only make things worse. Also, think about the audacity. Europe continues to buy Russian gas. Nobody says a thing. But India scoops up discounted oil, and suddenly there are threats and lectures. S Jaishankar talked about this hypocrisy on Thursday. He said it looks like a campaign against India.
We've seen for some time what looks almost like a campaign on this issue. Now, I was just reading a report today that in the month of March, Europe has bought, I think, 15% more oil and gas from Russia. We ourselves get the bulk of our energy supplies from the Middle East, about 7.5%, 8% of our oil from the US. in the past, maybe less than 1% from Russia. When oil prices go up, I think it's natural for countries to go out into the market and look for what are good deals for their people.
Both Russia and the West need to understand one thing. India's foreign policy is not for sale. You cannot threaten India into criticizing Russia. Neither can you lure India with cheap oil. Just think about it. As we speak, Russia is waging a war over so-called national interests. America has done the same for decades. Why should India be any different? If you want to sway New Delhi, you must come up with concrete proposals. Proposals that benefit India's interests. And most importantly, try not sending novices like Dalip Singh. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.